My name is Angela Taylor. I am the author of The Beauty and Vanity of Denial, Unmask Your Stories, and Embrace Your Truth. Now, Denia told you about the 8 areas of the circle of life. I feel like I don't have anything on now. I have so much on. She told you about the 8 areas of the circle of life that I talk about in my book. They are body, mentality, emotions, relationships, finances, career and lifestyle, energy, and spirituality. We all have challenges in every area of life at some time or another, and often the challenges are caused by our denial stories. It is my prayer that with this book, excuse me, it is my prayer that this book will help those of you who are looking for an answer to help you come out of your anger, your frustration, sadness, anxiety, or any other negative emotion, for you to begin to examine your life and discover and unmask the stories that may be keeping you from progressing in one or more of these areas. When we think of progress, we often only think of career, lifestyle, and or finances. However, there is so much more to us than that. Our relationships are more important than some of us realize, and especially the ones that we have with ourselves. It is imperative that we begin to examine our lives and see what we can do to begin moving beyond where we are in the areas that leave us confused and frustrated. Sometimes it takes a hard fall before we decide to examine our lives, acknowledge our truth, and make changes that will bring us closer to it. For me, it took trying to manage signs and symptoms of stress. And the stress was exacerbated by my denial stories. I decided to make changes when I was at the lowest point and found myself crying every day. I realized I cried every day for almost a whole year before I even considered examining the causes. Imagine crying every day. Imagine looking back on your life and you're like, oh my God, I cried every day. Can you imagine that? Every day. I knew I was unhappy. However, I didn't want to really think about or begin to confront the reasons why, because they were things I didn't want to face. I was afraid and chose to ask Denia to help me feel secure instead. I denied responsibility for my own life and circumstances. I wanted to blame everyone else. My intuition, I no longer trusted my own internal guidance system. I denied that I needed to deal with my own personal issues that were formed during childhood. I denied the amount of stress I was under. I denied that stress, along with my eating habits, created the health issues I had. And these are just a few of the things. And I was in denial because I wasn't ready to change. I was trapped on my merry-go-round, knowing I was going around in circles and getting nowhere, and not motivated enough to examine why and wait for the answers. I knew the answers were there, and I didn't want to think about them because it meant I would have to confront fears I had been living with for over 40 years. Before my year-long crying spell,